Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Noreen here on Wednesday, September 30th. Quite a complicated and serious weather pattern unfolding for the Mid-Atlantic region. Significant rainfall is quite likely throughout the Mid-Atlantic region over the next several days. And on top of that, there is the threat for a hurricane. Joaquin actually strengthened overnight and has now reached hurricane status, Category 1. It was in an area of vertical wind shear yesterday. The wind shear relaxed overnight, allowing for some strengthening. This morning, winds are sustained at 75 miles per hour. This is the very latest visible satellite image of what is now Hurricane Joaquin. This is from the Penn State EWAL site, a visible image of the Atlantic Ocean. Again, sustained winds at 75 miles per hour. It's moving very slowly right now to the west-southwest towards the Bahama Island chain, which is right in this region right here. Eventually, Joaquin looks like it'll take a turn to the north and then northwest, and eventually could very well strike the Mid-Atlantic coastline anywhere from Virginia to across the Delmarva Peninsula into New Jersey over the upcoming weekend. Whether or not Joaquin actually strikes the Mid-Atlantic coastline, the significant rainfall will very likely occur, and flash flooding is a real concern over the next several days, even if Joaquin does not strike the Mid-Atlantic coastline. Well, here's the very latest track of Joaquin as depicted by the NOAA Hurricane Center forecasters. They have actually shifted the track a little bit to the west here, a bit more ominous for the Mid-Atlantic region, certainly from Virginia across the Delmarva Peninsula into New Jersey. It is within the realm of possibility that there is a hurricane strike over the upcoming weekend. Not all computer forecast models are suggesting a hurricane strike. The European model run of last night keeps Joaquin out to sea, but again, let me emphasize that even if Joaquin stays out to sea, significant rainfall is very likely throughout the Mid-Atlantic region over the next several days. We'll talk about some of the main factors involved and why a shift back towards the Mid-Atlantic coastline is indeed a real possibility. Well, before we take a look at some computer forecast data, I showed this map yesterday. I want to show it again today because it's quite important. This is a sea surface temperature anomaly chart from tropicaltidbits.com. All the orange areas and reddish areas indicate areas where the water is above normal for this time of the year. And you can see throughout the western Atlantic, the Caribbean, all this area right in here, sea surface temperatures are above normal. All of this helps in the intensification of any kind of a tropical system. Again, Hurricane Joaquin strengthened overnight. The vertical wind shear relaxed, and it is moving over an area of warmer than normal sea surface temperatures. All of that, again, could boost it into Category 2 or even 3 status over the next couple of days. Well, let's now take a look at the last night's 0Z GFS model run for the upcoming situation. This is the 500 height anomaly chart for Friday morning. And again, there are several key players involved with this complicated weather situation. First of all, come Friday morning, the GFS model has a very vigorous upper level low. Again, this is at 500 millibars. Over here is the reflection of Hurricane Joaquin just east of the Bahamas come Friday morning. And this is a key player in that it ultimately causes a pinwheeling effect. The Hurricane Joaquin, according to the GFS model, will kind of spin around the upper level low and head back towards the Mid-Atlantic coastline over the upcoming weekend. We'll walk through this on 6-hour increments. Again, this is from last night's 0Z GFS model run that's put out by NOAA. All these maps are on tropicaltidbits.com. Let's now jump ahead through this period and notice the upper level low dropping to the south. Meanwhile, Joaquin is pushing to the north, kind of a pinwheel effect. This, by the way, is known as the Fujiwara effect in the meteorological community. Fujiwara was a Japanese scientist who studied this when two low pressures approach each other, they tend to repel each other and pinwheel around. Indeed, this is a key player, the fact that this is so strong and so far to the south. You may remember a couple of days ago, the European model had this in its forecast and the GFS model did not. Well, the GFS has jumped on board with this very deep 500 millibar low. Let's keep stepping forward now. This is Saturday morning. Upper level low situated over Georgia. Joaquin now starting to make a move to the north. Let's keep pushing ahead. Now this is Sunday morning. Joaquin slams into Virginia according to last night's 0Z GFS model run. Certainly a realistic scenario here. You cannot discount this. But again, let me emphasize that the European model keeps Joaquin out to sea. Certainly the eventual movement of Joaquin is not set in stone. Let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from last night's 0Z GFS model run. Well, here's the surface forecast map for Friday morning. A couple of things I want to point out. First of all, Joaquin way down here in the southeast edge of this particular forecast map. Notice, though, some heavy rain depicted here by the GFS model and some strong onshore flow. There is indeed going to be basically a nor'easter in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame, dumping some heavy rain on the Mid-Atlantic region along with strong onshore flow of air. All of that is bad news because it could really set the stage for some more heavy rainfall and more onshore flow if indeed Joaquin heads in towards the Mid-Atlantic region. But again, in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame, we will certainly not have a picnic around here. We'll have some heavy rainfall and some strong easterly winds, again causing some beach erosion ahead of what could become the main event if indeed Joaquin slams into the Mid-Atlantic region over the weekend. Also a key player here, blocking high pressure to the north, a very strong high in the southeastern Canada. We talked about that a couple of days ago, how high pressure in southeastern Canada this time of the year raises a red flag. It often results in some tropical mischief along the eastern seaboard. Let's now jump ahead 6 hours. Here's Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Notice still some heavy rainfall in the Mid-Atlantic region. Let's jump ahead now to Saturday morning. Heavy rainfall kind of pinwheeling around Joaquin. Again, an upper level low situated right here in the southeastern U.S. and a very strong looking system here according to last night's NOAA GFS model run. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. This is Saturday evening. Very strong storm here, probably hurricane, perhaps category 1 or 2 at this time. And finally, by Sunday morning, it just slams into Virginia. The Chesapeake Bay region has very strong winds all the way up through parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In some ways, this resembles the scenario with Sandy, in that a tropical system could back in towards the northwest during the last 24 hours or so before it makes landfall. All in all, right now, it looks like this will be a farther south setup than Sandy, which slammed into central part of New Jersey. But again, there's still plenty of time for things to adjust, but all eyes from Virginia up through New Jersey and throughout the Mid-Atlantic region should closely monitor this situation. Again, a complicated and potentially serious situation for the Mid-Atlantic region over the next several days. That's it for now. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for updates. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.